Police say the driver was speeding and under the influence of alcohol.
Police say the SUV went off the road and flipped over several times.
It is anticipated that charges will be levied against Mr. Drew.
We're gonna miss them both dearly. We love them both so much. Everyone did. Everyone did.
10 years ago today, a crash sent shockwaves through the Shen and Shaker communities. December 1st, 2012, a man named Dennis Drew was driving drunk and high. He hit a car, causing a devastating crash that killed 2 teens and hurt 2 others. Here's Dan Bazil from 2012.
Friends, family, and parents cling to each other in tears at Shenandoah High School as they grieve. Superintendent Dr. Oliver Robinson, visibly upset, hugging families, and tries to come up with words of comfort.
Numb is the word. I mean, truly, the families are numb. They're not sure how to think, what to think. They're just simply trying to get through it as best they can.
Police say 17-year-old Chris Stewart was behind the wheel of a Ford Explorer that now looks like a mangled mess when a Volvo driven by 22-year-old Dennis Drew rear-ended him at high speed on the Northway, a mile north of the Twin Bridges. Police say the SUV went off the road and flipped over several times and slammed into the median. Stewart and a passenger, Deanna Rivers, both seniors at Shen, died in the crash. 2 others in the car, 17-year-olds Matthew Hardy, a junior at Shen, and Bailey Wind, a junior at Shaker High School, are said to be in stable condition at the hospital. Police say the students were all coming home from a basketball game last night.
There were no culpable acts on the part of Christopher Stewart in the operation of his vehicle.
However, police say Drew, the driver of the other car, had alcohol in his blood. They're waiting for blood tests to figure out the exact amount. Charges are expected to be filed against him no matter what. Police say he also had a history involving speed and other violations.
It is anticipated that charges will be levied against Mr. Drew, which equate to vehicular manslaughter in the 2nd degree, which is a D felony. And that is coupled with the fact that an investigation reveals that there is alcohol involvement.
In Clifton Park, Dan Bazil, News Channel 13.
In order to grieve, a memorial was set up. Students left flowers and photos. The emotion was obvious, a sign of how much this impacted the school communities. Students at Shaker joined Shen in wearing green in memory of the 2 who died, and many made posters showing those killed will never be forgotten.
That kid was one of those kids that it didn't matter how you felt during the day. If you saw him and you saw his goofy smile, you would feel better about yourself. I mean, the kid had the goofiest smile you'd ever see. And I keep on saying it, and I miss my best friend. And as for Deanna, I've been friends with her since I played basketball in 10th grade, and she was my biggest fan, and now I'm her biggest fan because she was truly such a great girl, and we're gonna miss them both dearly. We love them both so much. Everyone did. Everyone did. There wasn't a person that wasn't affected by this.
And the recovery for the 2 teens injured was long, but they had their community behind them, and that support spread beyond the capital region, with celebrities chiming in. Beth Wortman reports.
Calls on the football field aren't the only thing on Tim Tebow's mind. Last night, the Jets quarterback made a call himself to Matt Hardy, the 17-year-old Shen student hospitalized after the Northway crash. All after a Twitter campaign Tebow called Matt went viral, where Twitter users, all following the same topic, continued to post tweets encouraging Tebow to call Matt. After the call, Tebow tweeted himself, "Thanks to everyone who got Tebow called Matt trending and helped connect us. Matt truly inspired me. God bless y'all."
What it means is that no matter how powerful, famous, rich, etc. a person is, they're a human being, and they can identify with other human beings.
Dr. Anthony Ferrioli, a psychiatrist, says it's a social media phenomenon bringing the universe closer. And it wasn't just Tim Tebow who picked up the phone. New York Yankees pitcher Jabba Chamberlain also responded to the Twitter campaign and posted a tweet saying he had left Matt a message. And Olympic swimmer and gold medalist Missy Franklin also tweeted that she left a message for Bailey Wind, the other teenager injured in the crash. All after the Twitter theme Missy Call Bailey was reposted more than 18,000 times an hour.
pretty incredible. It has to lift the spirits, not just of Matt and the other child involved, but also all of us. We're all kind of rallying behind them, and we have some, pretty amazing people out there who are dialing in and checking in on us in our little community.
In 2013, Drew pleaded guilty to a slew of charges on the same day as Shen homecoming, a return to the football field without Chris Stewart and Deanna Rivers among those students. Dan Levy reports.
Friday night lights were just what the doctor ordered in this community. The homecoming atmosphere on the Shenendehowa campus was frenzied and fired up. And the student body, much of which was wearing green, provided a perfect cure for the blues. And according to school superintendent Oliver Robinson, Chris Stewart and Deanna Rivers wouldn't have wanted this night to be spent any other way.
If they were here, there will be the spirit of the day. And I think that the kids have taken on that as a way of remembering them by living life in a very exciting way, in a very respectful way, the ways that characterized Chris and Deanna.
It was on this very field last December when 10,000 mourners showed up for a memorial service. The pain and the anger created by the Northway tragedy has lingered. And the irony of returning to the same football field 10 months later, on the same day Dennis Drew pleads guilty, has created mixed emotions.
Happy that the families are going to get some closure, and that it's sad to see him have to spend the last 15 years or whatever in prison.
I was pleased that they decided to just plead guilty and not draw it out. I think that was a smart decision. I think that's a good way to go.
It really did devastate a lot of the football players, and it was a real shocker and a wake-up to the community.
And that's why this homecoming game has become a turning point in a long, stressed-out community.
Any time a life of loss is tragic, but it's particularly tragic when you think about how those kids lost their lives, and to be completely vindicated by this young man's admission is a major shift in terms of the psychology of our students to really say, you know what, we can stop talking about it, we can move on, we can remember them for who they are.
Then this past summer, Drew was denied parole. Dan Levy reports.
In December 2012, there was a crash on the Northway with deadly and criminal consequences. Teenagers Christopher Stewart and Deanna Rivers were killed, 2 others injured, and Dennis Drew, who drove the other car recklessly and under the influence, was convicted and sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison.
The experience we had on June 17th of this year, delivering our victim impact statement, was revolting.
Brian and Debbie Rivers prepare and deliver victim impact statements to the parole board every couple of years, determined to keep Drew locked up for as long as possible. But with limited time, not to mention impersonal telephone conversations with parole board members, they believe their message is not getting through.
A phone conversation cannot deliver the pain in a victim's eyes. It cannot deliver the expressions as victims describe how their lives were destroyed as a result of a crime. Victims' voices need to be seen and heard in a person or video recording.
All that's going to come from our review, our interview that took place in June, is basically a written transcript.
That's why Senator Jim Tedisco is introducing Christopher and Deanna's Law.
The law would say they have to get that video and they have to watch it from beginning to end. All 3 of them who are interviewing that criminal, that one who's before the parole board, they have to see the psychological, emotional, the hurt, the pain, the loss of these family members.
His earliest release date is now May of 2023. For Now Opening News Vault 13, I'm Rachel Teedy.